Hi friends, happy Groundhog Day. As you've probably already heard, Punxsutawney Phil, America's most famous groundhog, saw his shadow today and predicts 6 more weeks of winter. Before you get too sad, his accuracy rate is only about 36 to 40% depending on how you calculate the statistics. Also, Buckeye Chuck, Ohio's most famous groundhog, predicts an early spring. I'm going with Chuck on this one. Did you know that Groundhog Day is actually rooted in Christian tradition? February 2nd is the feast of the presentation of Jesus at the temple, also known as the Feast of the Purification of the Virgin, also known as Candlemas or Candle Mass. This festival falls 40 days after Christmas. According to the Mosaic Law, 40 days after giving birth to a son, the timing is different if it's a girl, a mother was to offer a sacrifice in the temple as a sign of ritual cleansing. In Luke 2:22-38, following Mary's ritual purification, she and Joseph present Jesus in the temple and dedicate him to God. So you can understand why this day is called either the Feast of the Presentation of Jesus at the Temple or the Feast of the Purification of the Virgin. But what about Candlemas? Candlemas is a Northern European name for the festival because of the tradition of processing with lighted candles at the Mass on this day. It's intended to reflect Simeon's proclamation that Jesus is a light for revelation to the Gentiles. That's Luke 2:32. The tradition of holding lighted candles during the liturgy of this Mass dates all the way back to the 5th century in Jerusalem. Also on this day, priests would traditionally bless beeswax candles that would be used throughout the year, both in the church and in people's homes. Another tradition that arose on Candlemas was to predict the coming of spring. We see these traditions across Eastern and Western Europe centered around indigenous wildlife: bears, badgers, wolves, foxes, and even snakes. In the United Kingdom, the saying goes, "If Candlemas Day is clear and bright, winter will have another bite. If Candlemas Day brings cloud and rain, winter is gone and will not come again." The earliest written reference to Groundhog Day in the United States implies that it comes from the German immigrants' Candlemas tradition. James Morris, a shopkeeper in Morgantown, Pennsylvania, wrote of his German neighbors in 1841. "Last Tuesday, the 2nd, was Candlemas Day, the day on which, according to the Germans, the groundhog peeps out of his winter quarters. And if he sees his shadow, he pops back for another 6 weeks' nap. But if the day be cloudy, he remains out, as the weather is to be moderate." Whether spring comes early or late, we can be glad that Christ is the light that reveals God's great love for us, for all people, and for all creation. Oh, and there's one more thing. For those of us who like to leave our Christmas decorations out a bit longer, and Epiphany, January 6th, seems to be pushing it, some Christians observe the practice of leaving their Christmas decorations out until Candlemas, February 2nd. You're welcome. Thanks for listening today. I'll see you again.